Hey folks, welcome to a preview to an all-Canadian matchup between the Vancouver Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers. I'm sure a lot of eyes will be on it, not just in Canada, but outside of Canada. And it's a match I didn't want to see happen. Full disclosure, for those who don't know, I am an Oilers fan. I will be unbiased, but my emotions will still be shown. My opinions on what I think will happen will be unbiased, but my emotions will still be shown. I'll balance the two as best I can. Now, these stats are from round one, so they're not from throughout the season. So again, the stats are going to be a bit, different because Vancouver played Nashville a very different way than the Oilers played LA, and they're both different opponents. They're both opponents who prefer a defensive style, and it's a style that Vancouver used to beat the Predators, and a style the Oilers usually feast on. But we'll talk about that. Now, of course, the recent history between the two teams is Vancouver swept the season series against the Oilers. Personally, I am convinced that if you ignore the goals, which is what matters most, but if you ignore the goals, Oilers should have won 3 of those 4 games. The first one, Oilers sucked. But the Oilers played really good games against Vancouver in the next 3 matchups between the two, and Vancouver still won them all. Vancouver managed to goalie the Oilers, regardless of who was in net, whether it was Demko or DeSmith, and heading into round 2, they might be hoping Sheeloffs can do it as well. We'll see. And it's not like Oilers goalies played bad in all those games. It's just DeSmith, who is a solid backup, looked like, but not a great goalie, looked amazing whenever he played the Oilers. And Demko, well, he's been looking amazing all year. Demko is in the headlines, as you may have seen. He at first it was released, okay, Demko's not going to be there for game 1. Well, how soon will he be back? Not soon. Earliest, according to Rick Tocchet, the coach of the Canucks, said game 5. So Vancouver, if they don't win the series by then, better hope that they hang on for Demko to return. And I feel bad for Demko. He's fought so hard to get the Canucks to this point, and now he can't be there for them. But again, in the meantime, DeSmith and Sheeloffs have been good in the net. But part of that is because of Vancouver's system, which is best exemplified by not only the fact that they didn't score a lot of goals. They only had 13 goals in 6 games, but only allowed 12 goals in 6 games. But the shots for, they had exactly 20 shots per game. That's super low. But they only allowed 25, which is also not as low as 20, but still pretty low. They played a style that protected their goalies, and it obviously worked against Nashville. But it's a style that I think would get them beat. The Oilers demolished the LA Kings, who also play a goalie protective style. And frankly, I think Talbot was better than Saros in round 1, which is weird to say, but it happens sometimes. The Oilers handled the Kings in 5 games. Vancouver needed 6 to beat out the Predators. Oilers scored twice as many goals against the Kings per game than Vancouver did against Nashville. Oilers scored 4.4 goals per game and allowed 2.6. Both great numbers. Vancouver only allowed 2, as mentioned before, which is a great number, but they only got 2.17 goals per game. Shooting for the Oilers was pretty 50-50 between them and the Kings, but it slightly favored them. They usually control the shot totals. And, but were able to handle these high shooting tallies. Vancouver handled low shooting. Again, very different series that went on. Not just different opponents and different teams, but very different series. Oilers were able to score a lot more per shot. 14.2% of their shots went in the back of the net. Both teams were able to keep opponents' shooting percentages below 10. Oilers had a ton of high danger shots for 9.8. Vancouver didn't have a lot, but were able to keep Nashville's high danger chances quite low. Both teams hit a decent amount. Vancouver a bit more. Edmonton blocked quite a bit more than Vancouver did, and won slightly more face-offs on a percentage base. The real question here is the special teams. So Vancouver has had a history of poor special teams, but it's gotten a lot better this year. And their power play was pretty unnoticeable, but their penalty kill was quite good. They killed 90.9% of their penalties. But it is important to know that they took a lot of penalties, which is something you shouldn't do against the Oilers, who had an amazing power play, as they usually do, and an even better penalty kill. They killed all 12 of the power plays the Kings had. So that's kind of the breakdown of the stats. So what do I think will happen? I am convinced that if Vancouver plays the way they did against Nashville, they will get demolished. The Oilers are very good at picking apart these kind of styles and enforcing their will and just demolishing these kind of defenses. Colorado just did it against Winnipeg. Edmonton can do it against Vancouver. That said, I mentioned at the beginning, Vancouver won all 4 games. It seems whatever the Oilers do, Vancouver finds a way to win this year. We'll see if that changes, because winning the regular season series doesn't mean you're going to win the postseason series. Colorado and Winnipeg are once again an example of that. Winnipeg actually swept the season series against Colorado, including a dominating 7-0 win 2 weeks before the playoffs. And yet, Colorado won in 5. So we'll see what kind of style Vancouver plays. And it's tough for them, because if they open it up more, I think they'll score more. Obviously, I think that's usually the case for most teams, but can they afford that? Can they afford to allow Sheloff and D. Smith to get slaughtered in shots? And maybe they can handle it. Goalies are incredible. Can be incredible. Any goalie can be incredible. But do they want to risk that? You don't know. And we'll see how they handle it, how they handle the Oilers. And again, they don't usually handle the Oilers well, but they win anyways. We'll see if they can replicate that. But again, my thinking is all the stats say, which again was what we were talking about in the regular season when the Vancouver Canucks still won, but the Oilers, I think, should win. I think a lot of people are thinking that. And I don't know if the Canucks themselves realize it. If I was a Canucks fan, I'd be a little worried about all the Canucks fan videos going viral for saying F McDavid. McDavid sucks. I really, really wouldn't want to poke that bear if I were them. And I didn't watch all of Rick talking and what he said about the Oilers, so I could absolutely be missing something. But in his initial thoughts talking about the Oilers, he talked about we can't take so many penalties. And yeah, you're right. But it sounded like he simplified the Oilers game just down to their power play. And yeah, their power play is a big part of the Oilers games. It can win them games a lot. But if you ignore their 5-on-5 abilities, you're gonna get beat. Oilers 5-on-5 has been very good this year. And we're pretty good against LA Kings, who are a very good 5-on-5 team. So yeah, I do expect the Oilers to win. But that's also why I'm scared. Because the Canucks won all 4 games. And if the Canucks beat the Oilers, I don't know if I'm going to post a video. I won't handle it well, I'll tell you that. But I'll post a video about it eventually. Just again, it might take a while. I'm not Steve Dangle. I don't know if I can do that whole freak out thing. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes down, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on how it goes down in the comment section below. And while you're there, how about liking the video if you think I've earned it, and subscribing and turning on notifications even for more, as there's lots to go over. I'd love to keep talking about this series, but I think I'm just going to be a broken record at this point saying how the Oilers should win. But they haven't been winning against Canucks this year, so that is my... But I am quite... Oh, I forgot my prediction. I did say the Oilers win in how many games? Part of me wants to say 4, because again, if Vancouver plays anything like they did against Nashville, which they have to protect their goalies, because that's what they want to do, if they play like that, they're going to get destroyed. If they open up, Sheloff and D. Smith are still liable to get destroyed, and either or you don't want. But at the same time, DeSmith has had a couple really good games against the Oilers this year. Why not Sheloff at this point? Demko did it. DeSmith did it. Why not Sheloff have a 40-save shutout? Whatever. But we'll see, obviously. This is just a preview. It's not a review quite yet. Hopefully you're here for that, and hopefully it favors me more than Canuck fans. Yeah, my emotions will be high for this. Absolutely. It starts tomorrow night, Wednesday night. I am excited and very worried about it, but that's what's great about playoff hockey. Anyways, that's it for now. Lots more videos to do. I will see you later.